this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and welcome to The Good Stuff Live for Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. It is so great to be streaming again, and it looks like we've already got a robust crowd with us this evening. But let me first say, if you just stumbled across this stream tonight, this is the place where we talk about music, movies, and mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. So let me go ahead and scroll to the top of the chat here, and let's see who's here. Edward Myers, welcome. Great to have you here. Hope everything is well in St. Paul, Minnesota. Superfan Lance Chafin is in the house. And let's see, we've got Daryl Johnston. I'm here now, Daryl. Kenneth Wilkinson is here. Let's see what else we've got. Tracy Rothmeyers, superfan Tracy Rothmeyers is here, as well as superfan Spike Spikerson. Let's see, who else? Cindy D is here. Welcome, Cindy. The topic tonight, you know what? I've just gotten back from vacation. We went to Cancun, Mexico as a family, and so I have not had a chance to really put together much of any one particular topic. So I thought, you know what we do? We'll just get together and visit, and let's see where the conversation goes. But it's great to have you here, Cindy D. Mark M is here as well. Let's see. Edward Myers says, can't wait. This is my once a week away from all the bull crap of the world. Well, yeah, I feel the same way. It really is. It's a nice little respite, isn't it, Edward? Let's see. Who else is here? Don't want to miss anybody. I hopefully don't. And if I do, know that, you know what? I didn't do it purposefully. Tom McCluskey, also known as Hungry Jerk, is here. Thanks for getting here. Great to have you with us this evening, Tom. Let's see. Christopher Kraft, always great. Hope the new apartment is working out for you, CK. Hope everything's going well. Lisa Fields is here. Welcome, Lisa. Great to have you here as well. Raja 1938 is here as well. Let's see. Clinton Watkins. That's a name I haven't seen, at least not for a long time. Great to have you here as well, Clinton. And Kevin Connor, thank you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. That's very, very, very kind of you. Truly appreciate the support. What can I get? Let's see what we can pull up for that. There's got to be something that I've got a new one here. How about this guy?
Pure dynamite!
Love it. Thank you, Kevin. That super chat is absolutely pure dynamite. Hey, Ian's here as well. Ian, I apologize for not getting out an invite. Things have. First day back to work today, and it was just. It took everything I had to just get the live stream scheduled, but I truly enjoyed. I caught one of your live streams while I was on vacation. Really enjoyed it, and look forward to having you on a future live stream with me. So Great to see you in the chat, Ian. Hold down the fort for me there, if you would, good sir. Let's see who else is here. Lots of folks. Will McIntyre's here. Matt Sweeney is here. It says, hey, Dave, is it safe where you live? It's fairly safe. Wear a mask. Be careful in all sorts of things. It's fairly safe. If you're asking about like COVID rates, that type of thing, we can all do things to be safe. And hey, when you're staying at home watching MeTV and watching Andy Griffith or whatever your favorite show is, The Love Boat, Three's Company, The Dick Van Dyke Show, super safe. Super safe. McGanahan, Sky Jelly Fetty, it's great to have you here as well. Tyrell Bellinger, one of my favorite people, always sending me suggestions for videos. Truly appreciate your presence this evening. Helene Solomon is here as well. Going to a celebrity convention in Maryland tomorrow. I am so excited for you, Helene. I hope you have a great time, and I hope you meet a bunch of wonderful celebrities. I know there's so many great celebrities that hit those conventions, whether it's Jerry Mathers, Tony Dow, all the folks from the Land of the Lost TV show that I love. They're always there. Wesley Urie and I'm drawing a blank. Phil something or other played Chaka. And who else comes to those? Well, sometimes you see Gil Gerard and it's just a lot of great people that show up at those conventions. So I hope you have a great time, and I hope you get to meet a lot of wonderful people. Reb Brown shows up at those things occasionally. Jackson Bostwick shows up. Kathy Garver. Hey, Big J52, great to have you here. Welcome this evening. Jimmy C. Marvel Man 1000. Hello from Kaysville, Utah to the Mississippi. Great to have you here. Miriam Smith, welcome. George Ayers in the house. Always a treat to have you with us. Thanks, Mike Jones. I really appreciate the kind words about the channel. It's great to have you here on the live stream tonight. Lamont Bradford. Hey, how's it going? Robert, just a fans, waving hello. How long been here? Not sure I understand that question. We've just started, though, if you're asking about how long the chat's been going. Leanne Chavers is here as well. Welcome. Winston's mom says, wee, it's Wednesday with the good stuff live. Hey, great comment, Winston's mom. Tim, great to have you with us as well. The Life and Sad Ending, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite YouTube creators. Check out his channel. If you in a stream there, if you want to take a little detour, see some great videos, click on the Life and Sad Endings chat. I think you can click on his name there on the chat and you can see a great channel. Right click on it and open up a new tab so you don't lose the chat, though, the live stream. Same thing for Ian's channel. That retro serial channel is fantastic. All right, what else do we got? We got a Little Wing here. Oh, my goodness. We have got a new member. Someone else has found the join button right next to the subscribe button and has joined the illustrious squad of folks who support this little channel. So Lisa Fields, thank you so much for becoming a member and for showing your support. Let's see what we can rustle up for you. I've got my favorite, but I'm going to do my favorite.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Truly, truly appreciate it. It is very kind of you to become a member. Let's see what else we've got. We've got Will McIntyre. Great to have you here. And thanks for reminding everybody to hit the like button. Absolutely. I do, Zebra ZXX, but I've been on vacation. I've been away from a computer for a full week. And so the last video I did, I put out on March 7th, I want to say, right before I was getting ready to leave. And that was on Marky Post passing away. So yeah, I have been away from a PC and I've been spending time with the family. So I'm working on a video right now and hopefully we'll have it out in the next day or two. But I really enjoyed these live streams. I really enjoy getting together and visiting with everyone here. So great question. And I will always make videos because it's a hobby that I truly enjoy. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Justin Braidwood Inn, welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Well, thank you very much for the support, Justin, and I appreciate the super chat. Let me see what I can find here for you.
Grazie, gracias, danke, merci, spasibo, sheshe, arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah, thank you very much. I said gracias a lot over the course of the last week or so, being down in Cancun, Mexico. I got to tell you, it was so great down there. Super hot, and it's that humid heat that I'm not used to being from Utah. Our heat, we get hot, but it's just a dry heat. But the thing that was rough was, to get back into the U.S. these days, you have to take a test and prove you're healthy, and there was a lot of it was a stressful time while we were waiting from when we took the test to when we got the test results to find out if I was going to be able to come back to the U.S. with my family and go back to work and come back and be able to do these live streams and make videos. Otherwise, if you test positive for COVID down there in Mexico, you end up spending another 14 days quarantined. You're not vacationing anymore. They keep you in your hotel room and you stay there until you get better. All right, Daryl Johnston, I think I've said hello, but I am going to say hello again. Cheech and Chong, what a great comedy team. Love those guys. Love that whole Santa Claus and his old lady routine, and Earache My Eye, what a classic. Let's see. I think I've said hi to Tracy, but I'm going to say hello to Superfan Tracy Roth Myers again. And where Nomad has gone before, welcome. Good to have you here as well. Zebra ZXX says you get cash this way. Not a ton. I do this primarily just to connect with my community. But thanks for asking. You know what? I don't want to underplay the support that I get from people, whether it's through Super Chat or from joining and becoming members of my community in terms of the actual channel membership. It's great, and I really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, I do. Earache My Eye. Absolutely. Will McIntyre. Such a funny skit. One of my favorite, because I was that kid. I was that kid that was always playing hooky and staying home from school and wanting to watch Bewitched and Beverly Hillbillies. And my dad was absolutely the Earache My Eye dad. But my mom was a sucker, and she would always let me stay home if I said I was sick. Robert Just a Fan said, poor Marky, loved her. She was young at heart. Plus, forget actor who played Mac, passed away, Charlie Robinson, too. Yeah, very sad. Let's see. Yeah, hey, and I concur with Tom. We want to know how that convention goes, Helene. Make sure you let us know. Hey, Georgia, good to have you here. Clinton Watkins says, binged on Green Acres here recently. What a wonderful show. Green Acres and Petticoat Junction, all those shows. Al Oduwardi is in the house. His chat slipped away from me here. I'm running way behind here. Let me get to Al's. Says, don't miss me. Hi, Dave. Good stuff, gang. Hey, Al. I got to go fast. Let's get going here. Let's see. Chris Kraft says, hey, Dave, settled into the new apartment nicely. Been here a month already. That's so good to hear. So good to hear. And let's see who else we got. Dark Toy Lord says, I never catch your live streams. So happy to be here right now. Well, I'm happy to have you with us, Dark Toy Lord. Welcome. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Zebras XX. He's asking about the fires. We've had some fires here in the Utah area, but we're safe in the Kaysville, Davis County area, which is just north of Salt Lake City. So nothing too crazy going on. We've had some fires up around the Parley Summit area in Park City, but again, nothing like the California and Northwest fires that have been going on in Oregon. Let's see, who else is here? David Ringwald, good to have you here as well. Welcome. Raja 1938 says celebrity autograph signings are my favorite parts of conventions. Very cool. Helene says that Kathy Garver will be there. What a wonderful lady. Let's see what else we've got here. Here's Ian saying hello to all those who said hi to him. You know, he live streams every Monday. You should catch it. It's roughly, I think, at the same time that I live stream on Wednesday, and he does a wonderful job. Oftentimes, he has a feller by the name of Thrash Pondo Pons who hangs out with him, and if I get a chance, I, from time to time, join him as well. Let's see, Mark Basselman, great to have you here. Mr. 79 man, glad to see you here, and I appreciate you popping in. Tom Lavelle's here in the house. Welcome. Let's see, John Collins, super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Says, hey, nice to have you back from your self-imposed preemption. Hope your anniversary was awesome. Your picture seems fuzzy. It looks good for me on my end. It might be a buffering issue that you're having. Maybe not. Maybe it is fuzzy. Maybe I'm just looking fuzzy. We got all this hair I haven't shaved since coming back. Yeah, so I mentioned that to you as we were corresponding via Twitter. I went to Cancun 30 years ago for my honeymoon with my wife. And this was our 30th wedding anniversary. And so we not only went back, the two of us, but we took our three boys with us as well. And it was really a delightful time. The place has changed a lot. It's a lot more touristy than it was even 30 years ago. It was definitely a tourist trap then. It's a tourist trap now, but it's a lot more people, a lot more resorts. And then, of course, everything going on in the world today makes it different as well, too. Let's see. Tracy Rothmeyer, super fan Tracy Rothmeyers, says, I love your videos. That's to the Life and Sad Ending guy. I love his videos as well. His name's Steve. He's a wonderful feller and really puts out some wonderful videos. I need to go back to John. I didn't give him any sort of video thank you. What can I do here for... let's do the other Lawrence Welk. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you, John. You're a good man. Good fella. Really appreciate you, your super chat and your support and your comments. Always great. Wonderful to have that kind of support and friendship. Emily Miller. Hello, superfan Emily Miller. I need to remember to say that. Superfan Emily Miller, wonderful to have you here as well. McGanahan Sky Jellyfetti says, I saw Tony Curtis at a convention and he told me he's been in Cliff Clavin's kitchen many times. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Let's see. Ed Reed's here. Welcome. Family Affair is your favorite show, isn't it? It's not, but I have a lot of wonderful memories about Family Affair, and I'm currently watching Family Affair, kind of working through the seasons. My favorite show of all time is the Andy Griffith Show, followed shortly by Batman with Adam West and Star Trek. But Family Affair is right up there. It's one of my favorites. Great question. Thanks for asking that, Ed. Let's see. Who else is here? Here's a request from Terrell. Would I ever consider doing a Whatever Happened to video on Allison Balson, known for playing Nellie Oleson's adopted little sister, Nancy, on the final couple seasons of Little House on the Prairie? Absolutely. I'll add that to my potential topic list. Danny Staten in the house. Always a treat to have Danny Staten with us. I have got to read I haven't read it or watched it yet, but you've got your Joe Palooka comic book review out there that I'm very excited to watch when I get a chance here. So check out Danny Staten. That's another name. Actually, that's the wrong. If you click on that one, you won't go to the Daily Dan blog, which is my favorite of all his channels. But Danny Staten's awesome. Great guy. Look him up. Check out his channel. Let's see. Yes, thank you so much, superfan Lisa Fields. Kevin Davis is here. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Yes, that's the Matt Sweeney saying there was a forest fire near Parley's Canyon, which is what you were inquiring about. Yeah, it's quite a ways away from me, and everything seems to be okay. And I think they're getting that thing under control. I hope so. Before that, we were just really having a ton of smoke in our area from the California and Oregon forest fires. So crazy times. The sunsets are just eerily beautiful, but strange looking, if you know what I mean, when you get those smoky days. Mark Bosselman says, keep doing those Whatever Happened to videos. Absolutely. I've got a couple I'm working on. Let's see. Pluto TV just started a 24-hour Andy Griffith channel. Awesome. That is so awesome. Kevin Jordan says yes to Hee Haw. Why wouldn't you say yes to Hee Haw? You always should say yes to Hee Haw. Let's see. Danny Staten says, hey, Dave, I caught something so freaky today on camera. Dogman is real. Video coming soon. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see what you caught out there. Even when you don't catch anything, I enjoy your videos. They're strangely relaxing for me to watch you as you trounce around in the woods out there in South Carolina, Danny. All right. Emily says, I can't take 30 minutes of Andy Griffith, much less 24 hours. That's the beautiful thing about TV, and particularly classic TV, right? There's just so many different shows. You don't like Andy? There's something else out there. And I know that Emily has a lot of favorite shows as well. Kevin Davis likes Sha Na Na. So did I. Really enjoyed watching Sha Na Na when I was a kid. They had a syndicated program on in the 70s. It was a lot of fun to watch. Let's see. Things are skipping away from me here and I have to scroll back up. Sometimes you just end up giving up on the chat and just going to where it is currently at. But I don't want to skip over anybody if I don't have to. Superfan Emily Miller says, we just have tornadoes, earthquakes, and flooding here in North Carolina. All in one day. That's it. What a treat. What a treat. Agent Pepsi One's in the house says, I so love classic TV. It seems the shows were so much better for the most part back then. I like that you added the for the most part because there are some good shows out there. I haven't totally given up on television. I really enjoy the Goldbergs, and there's a handful of other shows that I like to watch on a weekly basis. Tom Lavelle says the video is a bit fuzzy. I think it's just my face. Scruffy. Audio is okay. I'm glad the audio is okay. That's probably the most critical part. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, it says your stream is running about 6 to 7 minutes behind the video seems. That's weird. Very odd. Very odd. Let's see. Winston's mom says, question, Dave Sundstrom, did you watch television on vacation in Mexico and do you like the telenovelas? Did not watch any telenovelas when I was over there. Watched very little TV. We pretty much spent a lot of time out by the pool. And if we went and checked out Chichen Itza. It's a place we'd gone 30 years ago. And we also went and did some snorkeling and that kind of stuff. Rob Aiken's in the house. We are just talking. We are going to talk about something here in just a moment. I'm still welcoming people, though. I need to hustle through this. Good to have you here, Rob Aiken. Dominic D., welcome. Good to have you with us as well. Stu Sasser, good to have you here. He says, had a chance to visit Utah back in 2018. Visited Salt Lake City and the Brighton Ski Resort area. Spent time in St. George and visited Zion National Park. Really love Utah. It's a beautiful state. It really is. And it's a wonderful state to live in. I grew up here and have a lot of fond feelings towards Utah. Skip Rock Jr. says, I watched an old video by Golden Rage of TV about Green Acres, and he addressed Arnold Ziffel. He sure did. That's I remember watching that video as well. Now, I need to do my part, and I plan on doing that at some point in the future, Skip. Mike Jones says, what was your favorite Western and also your favorite TV show from the 70s? My favorite Western, I hope you don't mind, it's kind of it's a variation on the Western, is The Wild Wild West with Robert Conrad. And favorite TV show from the 70s? Oh, probably from the 70s, The $6 Million Man or Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Love both of those shows. Battlestar Galactica 2. That's a show from 78, I think. And Three's Company, since you said TV show, we have to include comedies. I love Three's Company. Happy Days. I can't whittle it down to one. But favorite Western, The Wild Wild West, that's from the 60s. If they had to pick one from the 70s, I would pick Little House on the Prairie, although it's not a true Western. It's just a frontier drama. Let's see. Benny Hill's always fun. Love Benny Hill. I had that, when Benny Hill made its way across the pond here to the U.S. and onto syndicated television out here in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was on late at night, like they had 10:30, 11 o'clock on our one and only syndicated channel. And all of us kids felt like if we could stay up and watch it, we might see something we shouldn't see. Or, Benny was always just a little risque, and it was so much fun when you're 14, 15. Yeah, I feel like you're getting away with something. Let's see what else we've got here. Yes, telenovelas are very popular in Latino markets. George Ayers West, which Star Trek? I love Next Generation, but when I talk about Star Trek, I'm talking about the original series, TOS. The Life and Sad Ending says tomorrow is me and the missus's 25th anniversary. We're married in Las Vegas in the Silver Bell Wedding Chapel. Rodney Dangerfield was married there too. That's awesome. And wow, 25 years. What an accomplishment. Congratulations to you, Steve. Well done. Well done. I have mentioned Return to Mayberry in some of my other Andy Griffith videos, McGanahan, Sky Jelly Fatty, but someday I'm going to just do a review because I have a lot of feelings about Return to Mayberry, and I in a nutshell, I love it. Maybe not as much as the first 5 seasons of the Andy Griffith Show, but I love it. Let's see what else we got here. Who else is here? You know what? I'm just going to fast forward to the very end here. And let me throw a question out to everybody. I was thinking today about the 80s. I did recently a video on 1982, the year that was, and we talked about all the wonderful movies that came out in 1982. But the 80s was just, for me, and maybe it's just the age I was at, but the 80s were just a phenomenal decade for movies for me. But with that said, there are movies that I feel like are cherished, critics love them, that I think are kind of overrated. And I'll throw one out there to get this started, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in terms of what movie do you feel was overrated, whether by critics or by the general public during the 80s. And the one that I'm going to throw out is E.T. It was just a massive blockbuster in the early 80s. Broke all the box office records. The critics loved it. Audiences loved it. And you couldn't back then, for the first few weeks, it wasn't strange to try to go see that movie and not be able to go in to see it. I tried a couple of times, and I remember going and seeing Blade Runner. Not a bad alternative, but because I couldn't get into E.T. But when I finally did see it, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I thought Drew Barrymore was great in the show. I've always been a big Drew Barrymore fan, but the story itself, you know what? It just didn't do it for me. So that is my movie. When I think about an overrated movie from the 80s, movie I have no desire to go back and watch again, at least not right now. So curious if you guys have some movies that you feel the same way from the 80s that you really have no desire to go back and watch, yet everybody talks about being a great movie. So I'll look in the chat to see what you guys think. And while we do that, I want to go over to super fan John Collins, who said, Dave, what you said one time that quality matters and you can tell if creators care or not, you are so correct, because a good example of this is all the Marky Post videos that are, there's some really horrible videos out there about her. I mean, what they do is they just go and grab a bunch of pictures and the Wikipedia entry, and sometimes you don't even get a real human being speaking it, and they still get thousands of views. It's crazy. And I guess it is what it is. But if I'm going to put together a video, I'm going to do it with craftsmanship and love, and, hopefully in such a way that it makes us all feel a little nostalgic. And certainly when we're talking about someone who's departed, who's left us. But yeah, good comment, John. Totally agree. Okay, so overrated. Breakfast Club. I was going to mention that one as well, but I do kind of like that. I've watched it a couple of times, but I do feel like it's probably overrated. Let's see. Tim says, E.T., I agree. Agent Pepsi 1. Yes, E.T. was way overrated. Hated that movie. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. The Big Chill. Yeah, that was, I like Kevin Kline, but yeah, that one's not great. I think I saw it one time on video. I wouldn't watch it again. Lawrence Kasdan, right? I think he was the director. DC Cab with Mr. T. I don't think critics like DC Cab, but I know that people went and saw it. People went and saw it. Let's see who else. Let's see. What else do we got? Lance agrees that E.T. was overrated. Murphy's Romance. I kind of like that one, but yeah. I mean, this is what's great is it's everybody's opinion. I want to hear everyone's opinion regarding what movies you thought was overrated. I agree with you totally, Justin. Wall Street, way overrated. Wall Street, way overrated. What else do we got here? Emily Miller says Q is my hero. I like Q too. And he's coming back for Star Trek Picard in season 2. Hopefully you have the Paramount Network so you can watch that. On Golden Pond, totally agree. Totally agree. Dragon Slayer, yeah, I didn't love, even though Peter, what's his face, is pretty good in that show. Nah, overrated. That was an interesting movie because it was a combined effort between Disney and Paramount. And it was a little scarier than most Disney movies at the time. Ordinary People, totally agree. Totally agree. Rob Aiken says, saw E.T. in the theater and wasn't particularly thrilled. Tom Lavelle says, Drew Barrymore, Firestarter. I liked her in that movie. Little Stephen King story there. Let's see. Tim loved Dragon Slayer. McGanahan Sky Jellyfetty says, I agree 100% on The Breakfast Club. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I like the music in it. I think the actors are pretty good in it, but I didn't think that was John Hughes's best effort by any means. Dr. Detroit, I remember that movie. I wanted to love it. I didn't love it. Oh, Lisa says, no, she loved that movie. Okay. You're talking about Murphy's Romance, I think, right? Super fan, Lisa Fields. I loved Murphy's Romance too. I like James Garner. Almost anything with James Garner in it, I'm going to love. Favorite movie from the 80s is Cat People, Agent Pepsi 1, putting out fire with gasoline, but great Bowie song. Yeah, I love that movie too. Nastasia Kinski was in it. And it's another one of those movies where I felt like I think it came out before I was actually 17. So getting in to see that was kind of a treat for me. I had a friend at the theater who would let me into movies that I was supposed to have an adult with me. Mal Havoc says E.T. was okay. Didn't like the remastered version. Sophie's Choice, Cindy D says, I remember seeing part of that movie, so I can't really comment on that one, but yeah, critics loved it. St. Elmo's Fire, another overrated classic. People love it because of the soundtrack of the cast. Daryl Johnston loved Dragon Slayer. I might have to go back and watch that one again. Peter McNichol is the guy I was trying to think of. Peter McNichol. Let's see. Al Oduardi says, I'm with you on E.T., Chariots of Fire. Yeah, that's slow moving. I mean, the story's good. The acting's good. The music by Vangelis is good. But altogether, it's not a movie I'm rushing back to. Let's see. Stu Sasser, a little off topic, but we're going to read it anyway. In the 60s, I loved all of the Irwin Allen shows, especially Lost in Space, and I really loved The Outer Limits, Star Trek, and The Wild Wild West. There will never be shows that good ever again. Those are all great shows. I'm not arguing with you. Land of the Giants, I'd add to that. Time Tunnel. Tom Lavelle says, Breakfast Club, too much Brat Pack. The Last Starfighter, love the premise. Agree with you that it's not a great one. I loved Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 2, not so much, but I loved Ghostbusters. McGanahan Sky Jellyfetty says E.T. with guns or walkie-talkies. Let's see. Bad 80s pick. My friend Steve says would be Staying Alive with Travolta. Yeah, that one. I haven't seen that one in a couple of decades, but I remember that one not being super great either. And it had a different kind of soundtrack than the original. It was post-disco, so they went with something more poppy. And I remember Stallone was the director. Sylvester Stallone directed that movie. And so everybody was in like super ripped and all greased up for the whole show, and it was interesting. Not very different than Staying Alive. That's all I'll say. Okay. Winston's mom says, happy 25th wedding anniversary and many more. ER was the top rated show that year. Yeah, ER, great show. So that would be late 80s we're talking about there, right? Kenneth Wilkinson says, Amityville Horror, the book was scarier than the movie. I read the book. You're right. It was much scarier than the movie. I love Margot Kidder, so I love that movie. Don't love it, but I like the movie for that reason. But I will agree with you that it wasn't, could have been better. And I agree here. I didn't think The Shining was particularly a great movie as a whole. I think there's some parts in that movie, some particular scenes that are very good. Kubrick's a master at particular scenes. Robot B9 says, not impressed with E.T. Met a lot of aliens in my time. And Lance says, how about cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers? Well, that one wasn't critically loved or anything. Liquid Sky, I don't think I've ever seen Liquid Sky, Spike. Let's see. And superfan Emily Miller. Did I not say? I didn't say superfan Spike Spikerson. Well, I didn't say superfan Lance Chafin. I'm really, that's horrible. Anyway, superfan Emily Miller says, never have been, not now, a fan of dramatical movies on Golden Pond, Ordinary People. Occasionally there will be one that I enjoy, but I much prefer a comedy or something fantastical. But every once in a while, there's a drama that I won't mind. Superfan Lisa Field said, I like Cat People too. It's an interesting movie for sure. Visually stunning, great soundtrack, some good acting. I love The Goonies, Tom. So we're gonna have to just agree to disagree on that one. Not perfect, but a fine movie by Richard Donner in my mind. Just again for certain moments in the movie. Let's see, RoboCop. I first one was the best of the series. Was that an 80s movie? Probably late 80s, wasn't it, Cindy D? Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. Agent Pepsi 1, thank you so much for the super chat. Could I please review Manimal? Worst sci-fi show ever, created by one of my favorite producers, Glenn Larson. Love Glenn. Love a lot of his work. Manimal didn't last very long, and it's already on my potential topic list. It's on my radar. So hopefully I'll get that done in the not too distant future, Agent Pepsi 1. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Let's see. Here's what we're going to do. We'll come back to this in a minute. We'll come back and I'll get a few more comments, but I'm going to take a quick break. And while we do, I'm going to leave you with, I stumbled across this on YouTube the other day and I just love it. It just made me smile. I remember this promo. It's from 1982. It's for the ABC TV network's fall season. And the music and just everything about this promo, it just makes me happy. Earlier, someone mentioned that this is a nice respite, a nice way to just get away from all the crap that's going on in the world today. And that's exactly what this is a nice way to get away from the crap of all the world today. So without any further ado, let me play this promo and I'll be back in just a moment.
Where you belong. Strike up the
Oh, there we go. I tell you that I have been humming that song all day. Let's see. Here's a couple other comments I want to get to. I was going to say 16 Candles as well. That's another John Hughes movie. That's not. I love a lot of John Hughes movies. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird Science. Just to name a couple. Uncle Buck, another one. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But 16 Candles for me is overrated. Danny Staten says, the other good stuff, Dave, don't talk about horror and gore movies and TV shows on my other channel, Daily Dan's The Good Stuff. Yeah, you have the channel, Daily Dan's The Good Stuff, focuses on like trailers and has a lot of trailers from B horror type movies, and they're a lot of fun. Another good channel by my friend Danny Staten. Emily Miller says Labyrinth was pure gold. Absolutely. I'm gonna go with. Here's what I'll do. I'll say yes to Labyrinth, but here's where I might get some folks angry. I'm not a huge Dark Crystal fan. So there you go. Top Gun was overrated. Yeah. I tend to agree on that one as well. I didn't really even love the soundtrack. And yeah, Dr. Detroit was fun to watch, but from a quality standpoint, it wasn't great for sure. Let's see. There was another super chat I wanted to get here too. Oh, a super sticker from my friend Lance Chafin, super fan Lance Chafin. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you, Lance. And as always, whether it's joining the channel membership ranks or the super stickers or super chats, truly appreciate the support. Really, really do. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, some folks are telling Agent Pepsi one she ought to, that, what are the, let's see. Oh, okay. Just talking about perhaps some modeling that Agent Pepsi one did early in her when she was a bit younger. Or maybe this is a current photo. I don't know. I haven't been able to follow the chat. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. All I'll say is that it's great to have you as part of the community, Agent Pepsi one. Let's see what else we have here. I wanted to throw another question out to the crowd, which is here. Let's see. So we've talked about overrated movies from the 80s. And I think a lot of folks have shared the movies they really love. But if you had to pick one movie, just one movie from the 80s to go back and watch, to be able to watch again, what would that movie be? So I'll start watching the chat. You're very welcome, Agent Pepsi one. It sounds to me like they're being very nice and kind to you in the chat there. I'll have to go back and read the chat later on. It's one of my things that I really enjoy doing is after the live stream is over, catching it again and reading the chat, because it's just really hard for me to I'm not really great at juggling all this stuff and not a great multitasker. Let's just say that. So I'll catch it later. John Collins, superfan John Collins says, were they having to do damage control at the time? Is that why they did that peppy ad or losing in the ratings? No, 82 was still, ABC was still doing fairly well in the ratings as far as I remember. Every year, ABC would do some sort of promo like that with just the music was so good and they'd have all their stars. It was really cool. So it really wasn't damage control. It was just PR for the upcoming fall seasons. Let's see. So movies that you would watch, you just would hate to never be able to watch again. Raja 1938 says The Wrath of Khan. That's one of my favorites too. And Hoybush says The Terminator lately. I've been into Schwarzenegger. Great movie. The original Terminator movie is a really wonderful James Cameron flick. Lisa Field says Clue. I still watch a lot. What a fun movie. That is a really fun movie. And Dominic D says Ghostbusters. Yeah, that's a great one. And Willow. Hey, fun movie by George Lucas, released in 1988. And starring Val Kilmer. I just watched the Val Kilmer documentary on Amazon. Really interesting. Tom McCluskey says, I'd watch Red Dawn. I'm a commie hater. Well, I don't know if I hate anything, although I'm not a big fan of communism, but I am a fan of truth, justice, and all those who believe in patriotism. And that doesn't necessarily mean conservative or liberal or all that political stuff. It just means uh, our freedoms that we have because we live in a democracy. Okay, let's see what else we got. Back to the Future, Karate Kid, superfans fan John Collins says. Lisa Fields says, I love Quest for Fire. Okay, Will McIntyre says Starman. Yeah, that's a great movie. That is a really great John Carpenter movie. Let's see. Agent Pepsi 1 says, I like Star Trek 2. Lamont Bradford says Raging Bull. Back to the Future, and one of my favorites for sure, Matt Sweeney, Bachelor Party. Yeah, that's a pure guilty pleasure for me too. Starring Tawny Katane, who just recently left us. Ishtar, I actually don't think it's a terrible movie, but it wouldn't be the movie I'd if I had to pick just one movie to watch from the 80s again. Terrell Bellinger says Dirty Dancing over and over again. You know what? Great music, great acting. I enjoy it as well, Terrell. And I know you're a fan of the rom-coms and romantic novels, that type of thing. So that doesn't surprise me in any way. Steve from The Life and Sad Ending says Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. What a great movie. What a great movie. Absolutely. Emily Miller says, I bought Labyrinth for a reason, my good man. Jimmy C. Marvelman says, Batman with Michael Keaton. You know, that's one of those where I want to say it's the movie that I would keep, and if I had to pick just one from the 80s, but it probably wouldn't be. I'm such a huge Batman fan, and I'm so excited to see Michael Keaton be Batman again in the new upcoming Flash movie. But I would probably pick Batman Returns over Batman, and I know that's going to, some folks are going to disagree with me on that one. But that's just the way I feel. Just the way I feel about that. Oh, here's a fun movie. And Faith Castillo, great to have you with us. She says, my favorite year with the fantastic Peter O'Toole. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a really good movie. Iron Eagle. Yeah, that was a good movie. Lou Gossett Jr., Footloose, Flashdance, Dirty Dancing, all great movies. Steve Ramsey says NBC was always last in those days until 83. Yeah, that was really the turning point. So 82 was when that promo came out, but a year from then, things were going to be turning. Justin, a.k.a. Braidwood Inn, says, Dave, what about movies where soundtracks were better than movies? There were a lot of those in the 80s and even early 90s where the soundtrack was just phenomenal, but the movie, not so much. Anybody seen Streets of Fire? Love that soundtrack. And there's portions of the movie I love, but the soundtrack was definitely better than the movie in my opinion. All right. Danny Staten says, I still watch the Night Stalker movie with Darren McGavin once every year. That is a great movie. And the Night Strangler, right? I think the other one's called. Was Mask in the 80s? Superfan John Collins wants to ask. I believe it was, and it was a very good movie. A very, very good movie. Terrell Bellinger says, wasn't 1964 considered to be the last year, the final year for boomers? I'm a 64 baby, and that's my understanding as well, that I made it in on the tail end of the boomer generation, and that my kids can say with authenticity, okay, boomer to me. Okay. Let's do this. Streets of Fire was a modern day Western. I just wanted the movie to be a little better than it was. Oh, The Warriors, but that's a 70s movie. I'm pretty sure that came out in the 70s. If it came out in the 80s, no, it came out in the 70s. Came out in the 70s, late 70s, maybe 78, 79. Not certain, but I love The Warriors. It's not, I don't know how well it holds up, and I haven't seen it for probably 10 years, but I really did enjoy it. That was one of those movies when be hanging out with buddies in my early 20s. That was a go-to movie for us. We loved it. All right, here's what we're going to do. I've got a quiz, but before that, we're going to do one quick commercial, and then I will be right back, folks. Be right back.
Mr. Cow,
Yes?
how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me, I bite.
One of my favorite all-time commercials growing up is that Tootsie Pop commercial. And because of that commercial, I believe I ate more Tootsie Pops than I would have. It was very powerful and persuasive for me. Hey, before I get to the quiz, and it's just a 5-question quiz this evening, but before I get to that, by the way, it's going to be, can you name these famous TV dads? I'm going to give you some hints. We're going to see how folks do. I think most of you are going to do pretty well with this one. But before I do that, I want to, again, say thank you to those members, those folks that not only have subscribed to my channel, but they found that little join button to the left of the subscribe button, and they have become supporting members of the channel, ponying up a couple of bucks a month. And you know what? There aren't a lot of perks that actually come from being a supporting member other than supporting my hobby and keeping me going in terms of this channel. But what I try to do is I try to make sure that I give prioritization of the comments that I respond to. When I have 1,000 comments to respond to, and I know I'm not going to get to all of them, I make sure that I respond to those comments first. And then I also, other things that I try to do is if a video is completed and it's not going to be out for the next couple of days, I get that and share it with the supporters first. And sometimes on a couple of occasions, I've solicited feedback and made a couple of changes based on their suggestions. So these members of the community have gone above and beyond and really supporting me. And I just want to make sure I say thank you to them. And I'm going to bring Mr. Robin Williams on one more time to express my appreciation.
Grazie, gracias, danke, merci, spasibo, sheshe, arigato gozaimasu.
So there you go. Let me get this off the screen here. Like I said, I'm not a good multitasker, but here we go. Can you name these famous TV dads? Let's see how we do. There's only 5 of them today. We're going to get through these, and we're going to keep this live stream to a lean and mean, roughly 60 minutes. So here's the first clue. I am a widow. I have 3 daughters. My good friend and my brother-in-law also live with me. Who am I? All right. I'm looking for, you can give the name of the character or the name of the TV show. The name of the character or the name of the TV show. I'm seeing some great guesses in the chat already. I'm not going to weigh in one way or another. I will give the answer here in just a moment. But go ahead and throw your answer in the chat, or you can just keep it to yourself and kind of keep track, keep score. All right. I think everybody, B. Arthur's a good superfan. Spike Spikerson says B. Arthur. That's pretty funny. Throw that up on this. All right. So let's go ahead and let's see the answer to this one. Correct answer is, Danny Tanner from Full House, late 80s television show. So that might have thrown some folks for a bit of a loop. But let's move on to question number 2. I work at a power plant. I have 3 children. My wife has blue hair. Who am I? I'm seeing a lot of answers that are all going the same way. I think there was one clue there that maybe, just maybe, was too obvious. It's Mal Havoc says that's an easy one. Spike Spikerson, superfan Spike Spikerson, says Cloris Leachman. And Daryl Johnson says dope. Yeah, so does superfan Tracy Roth Myers. Nicely done. Well played. Well played. Okay. Correct answer is. We'll let John Collins tell us. Superfan John Collins is saying, oh, nope, that's Punchy Logan. He says Mike Brady. Superfan John Collins says Dan Castaneda. Homer Simpsons, The Simpsons. That is correct. One of my favorite all-time TV characters. I think I bear a passing resemblance for Homer. I have 3 kids as well. I don't work in a nuclear power plant. My wife does not have blue hair, but we do have some similarities. I love donuts, and I say dough from time to time. All right. Abby Kim Stewart says, I remember Homer's debut on the Tracy Ullman Show, as do I. As do I. Love the Tracy Ullman Show. And those early episodes, just shorts, really short cartoons with The Simpsons in them were a highlight for me. But they took it up to the next level and really made it a much better, much higher quality animation, better stories, obviously, when they had a full half hour to work with. You can't be one of 3, Tom. We've only done 2. Unless you don't know the answer to this third one, which I've got out here. I am an architect. I have 3 children and 3 stepchildren. I have a housekeeper. Who am I? I think this one's easy. We'll see how folks do. I'm guessing that most of you got that. You're going to get this one. Superfan Spike Spikerson is on a roll this evening with another not correct but pretty funny answer. Amanda Bierce from Married with Children. No. Oh, that's too funny. Too funny. The correct answer is, of course, Robert Reed as Michael Brady in the Brady Bunch. Number 4, I am a hardware store owner. I have 3 children. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. Who am I? Superfan John Collins says, step-by-step Patrick Duffy. Well, for the one prior, Step by Step was the Brady Bunch redone, right? Let's see what else we've got. We've got folks weighing in on number 4. I don't want to say much because there are varying answers here. I want to make sure that I don't give anything away and give everybody a chance to answer the question. Terrell Bellinger is 3 for 3. I thought I'd just ask for results at the end, but if anybody wants to update me on how they're doing, I'll keep track of it as well. And the correct answer for number 3 is, yes, Tom Bosley is Howard Cunningham. I think, that whole 3 children thing, I almost put in there, I have 3 children, but pretend to only have 2. Because poor Chuck Cunningham, he just, up and disappeared after an episode during season 2, if I remember correctly. All right, number 5, the last question of the evening. I am a housekeeper. I am a widower. I have a daughter. Who am I? Let's see. Let's see who's getting this one correctly. I don't see any answers yet. Maybe there's a delay on my end. Starting to see answers trickle in. Lots of answers. Oh, here we go. Going back to question number 4 in Happy Days. Chuck was abducted by Bigfoot. Well, if anyone can verify that for us, it's Danny Staten, who's always looking for Bigfoot. Let's see. We're seeing a lot of answers there. TV show or name of the character is the way to go. Either will be accepted. And the correct answer is, yeah, the Who's the Boss guy, I think is what superfan Emily Miller said. And yes, indeed. Tony Danza, also known as Tony Maselli on Who's the Boss. So great show. I loved it. Judith Light was great on that show as well. And show that I watched quite often during its run during the 80s on ABC television. All right, let's see final scores here. Let me go over here and get me full screen, and we'll see some fun. Let's see. Ken Wilkinson got 2. Tom Lavelle got 2. Terrell Bellinger was 100%. I expect nothing less of Terrell. He's sharp cookie when it comes to his television. Lamont Bradford. Yeah, I was worried that this one was a little bit easy. 5 for 5. Let's see. John H. 5 for 5. Tracy Roth Myers. Super fan. Tracy Roth Myers. 5 for 5. Catherine Hellman. Yeah, great call out. I was trying to remember her name, Emily, so thank you for that. She was great on Who's the Boss as well. Wonderful actress. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Dolph Quick says, welcome to the stream, by the way, Dolph. Chuck was kidnapped by Mrs. Beasley. I wouldn't put anything past Mrs. Beasley. Yeah, you noticed I added a T. That's what I do. Rob Aiken says 3 for 5. Mr. Led's 3 for 5. Great to have you here, Mr. Led. Tom McCluskey, also known as Hungry Jerk, 2 for 5. Let's see, Matt Sweeney, 5 for 5. Good work, my friend. Faith Castillo, 3 of 5. Darrell Johnston, 5 of 5. Spike Smackerson says, I only got the one about B author right. Raja 1938, 4 of 5. Jan Kaza, or Koza, 5 for 5. Jimmy C. Marvel Man 1000's 4 of 1. Not sure how that works. Maybe you got 4 right, missed one. Is that what you're saying? And Troy C's a perfect 12 out of 3. Nicely done. Nicely done. Here we got a fan theory for poor Chuck Cunningham. He killed in Korea, and Mrs. C blotted him out of her memory. The other children and husband never mentioned him to avoid a meltdown. Interesting theory. Link Bond 442, 3 of 5. Let's see. Yeah, of course it counts, superfan Emily Miller. If you know the actor, not the character, it absolutely counts. Kimberly Wiederhold, Mr. C, Happy Days, 2 kids minus Chuck. Yeah, that's the way they played it at the end there. Cindy D's 4 for 5. Nicely done. Yeah, I saw that one you had in there about home improvement. Easy to get swayed on that one because I said works at a home improvement store. Clinton Watkins, 4 of 5. Mike D says 3 of 5. Steve from the Life and Set ending, 2 of 5. Don't feel bad, Steve. George is 5 of 5. I hope you have. That's a great score. Nicely done. Nicely done, Georgia. Let's see. No question on John Robinson. No, not for this quiz. Let's see. McGanahan, Sky Jelly Fatty, stupidly always thought that Who's the Boss was a spinoff from Taxi. Interesting. I can see where some folks might think that. They both were on ABC, although Taxi moved to NBC right at the end there. So let's see. J.S. Santos says, hey, Dave, finally caught you live. Shh, don't tell anyone I'm at work. Well, welcome. Great to have you here, even if you're at work. Superfan Emily Miller says, I just bought the soap series on DVD. Nicely done. Superfan John Collins says, 3 of 5. Have I done a video on Dick Clark? No, I have not. One of these days I will. The only person like that I've done a video on is Casey Kasem. Let's see. Tom McCluskey says, I saw a Mrs. Beasley doll at a toy show last weekend. Emily Miller's 5 of 5. I'm giving you the point. Super fan Emily Miller. No doubt about it. Just wanted to keep the question short and sweet this week, Mal Havoc, but thank you for pointing that out. Let's see. Mike Jones, 3 of 5. Better at Westerns. Well, 3 of 5 still better than 50%, so good job. And Winston's mom knocked it out of the park. 5 for fun, she says. Good to have you. Glad you had a good time with that one. Al Oduarte's 4 of 5. Didn't know about Tony Danza. Let's see. Scott Allen says, thank you for remembering Marky Post. Hopefully I did. You know, I had put together a video previously about Marky, a Whatever Happened To video, and I used parts of that for the tribute video to Marky. But boy, what a great actress and what a wonderful person, and she surely will be missed. Georgia Ayers, 5 of 5. Let's see. Robot V9 says, true Mal Havoc. Again, going to talk about John Robinson. Raja 1938 says, love how just mentioning B author became a punchline. Just because it's so out of context for the question. Let's see. Emily Miller, superfan Emily Miller says, wow, Clint, way to keep things lighthearted here. I must have missed a comment earlier on, but we're going to just keep it moving. Keep it moving here. Let's see. Scores. Kimberly Wiederhold is 5 of 5. Dolph Quick was 1 of 5 because of a computer glitch. A-okay. And I think that probably takes us to the end of the scores. Yeah, Casey Kasem was the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, Robot B9. He was also the voice of Robin in Super Friends, and numerous other characters in the world of animation. He really, what a wonderful, wonderful voice actor he was, as well as I really loved growing up his America's Top 40 countdown. I recorded it whenever I could, and I have great, great memories. John, I've done a video on Rodney Dangerfield. I'll have to dig it up, and maybe I'll throw it out there in the community so folks can find it easily. Let's see. Yeah, America's Top 40 is still on. They have a legacy version where they play old repeats, and then I think there's someone else. Well, it's the guy that did American Idol for a while. I can't remember his name. Is it Carson something or other that does the new countdown? Anyway. No one does it like Casey, though. No one does it like Casey. That's what I get for reading comments as I'm talking. Terrible at multitasking. Folks, I'm way over an hour. I wanted to keep it to an hour this evening. To all those folks who dropped a super chat my way, I say thank you. Thank you for the kindness. And to Ryan Seacrest, thank you, John Collins. That's who I was thinking of. Ryan Seacrest does the countdown. To everyone else, nope, Ryan Seacrest was the correct answer there. Yep, Terrell has it as well. Anyway, to everyone else, thank you so much for your engagement, your interaction this evening, and for being just a wonderful part of the community as well. You know what? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate considering doing that. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed to my friends Danny Staten, The Life and Sad Ending, Retro Serial, of course, my friend Pat McCormick on the Golden Rage of TV, and my brother Steve Sundstrom, these are all great channels. You can find links to them on my channel page over on YouTube. Really worth checking out as well if you enjoy this kind of entertainment where we talk about music, movies, mostly TV from an era gone by, right? The golden age in my mind, particularly of television. So thank you everyone for your engagement. I can't wait to read this chat. I'm so excited to read this chat later on when I watch the live stream myself. So thank you everybody for another wonderful live stream. And let's do this on the way out. Let me see if I can find something fun. You know what? I don't have anything left. Maybe a little Dukes on the way out. We don't want to watch it twice. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hopefully you'll get a couple videos over the course of the next week. And I'll put together a live stream with guests next Wednesday. So hopefully you'll be able to join me again then. Now, folks, I'm going to call it an evening. So thanks again and have a nice night.